the most unusual Monday morning that we've ever had, and you're going to enjoy it. I'm quite sure, because we're going to do something called From Entrepreneur to Philanthropist. That's even hard to say. Barrie Wells, you might have heard before on one of my programs, one of the Monday mornings. He did a very good program for us and told about some of the things he does. He's now the head of Wells Sports Foundation. You say, well, what do we care about a sports foundation for? Because he is an insurance guy from top to bottom. And, well, let me show you. Barrie, let me go back one there, Barrie, that right there. He's been in the financial services business forever. We met, we can't even believe how far back it's been. He met, and then he went back to the UK. He is from Lancaster, and went back there and started a direct writing insurance operation. Mr. Geico, you want to tell how that happened, Barrie?
Well, I've been in I've been in the USA in 1970 on a scholarship. I particularly liked what I saw with Geico, the direct relationship with the consumer, all the benefits that came out of that. So I went back to UK, and I basically took the Geico model with some twist to it. I added more, what I would say, more precise targeting and pricing than they did, and that was how I started. And then the next thing, after I sold that company, was I created another concept, which was doing small commercial direct, which again was as if Geico in the United States had gone into small commercial. So that was the second thing which I did.
And what he's not saying, of course, is that, he was also director for the non-executive director for Marks & Spencer's for many, many years. And that's that. If you know Marks & Spencer's, you understand how important that is in the scheme of things there. But what Barrie is not telling you, and but I will tell you, is that he was smart enough to be able to cash in on these things. He sold out of the two things he did, which is what, can you tell me which one, what do these things stand for, Barrie?
Well, the first one was Prospero, which was a direct marketing company based on Geico. That one had got sold to AXA and became AXA Direct. Mm-hmm. But the next one was the really big one, Premier Line Direct, which did small business insurance direct, and that got sold to Allianz in 2006. But I was the majority shareholder in that one as well.
When he says he's a majority shareholder, folks, we're talking about some serious money. I don't want to embarrass him, but it was quite a lot, and it was it's the most amazing success story that I've known, and particularly we've been working together off and on for 40 years. Are you ready for that? Unbelievable. Well, you know, what's this stuff about entrepreneur philanthropist? What's that mean? Well, what does it mean, Barrie?
Well, that really was, I got to 2006, 2007, I'd accumulated all this cash, and I thought, what do I want to do with it? Do I want to leave it all to my children? And I thought, no, why would I? Well, it could ruin their lives, but why would I just give them all this on a plate? So I thought, why don't I give the benefit of it? Why don't I give it away, most of it away in my own lifetime, which I set out to do? But then I want to give it away to something which I was truly passionate about, and something where I could be involved. I didn't just want to, write checks and disappear away. I actually wanted to be involved in what I did. So it needed to be something which I really, really loved. And also, besides giving the cash, it also is giving time as well. It's quite easy to write a check, but actually to give the time, put the time in as well, and access to all my contacts. So I experimented quite a lot. I did loads of things at the start. I did water, charities in Africa. I did schools in India, all things like that. But eventually I came down to doing something which I really loved. I mean, it really hit me the 2008 Olympics. I was sitting in the stadium with my son, watching the Olympics, and I said, I'm going to create a charity which basically takes sport and gives benefits to kids with sport. Unfortunately, my son, he didn't mind. He was quite happy to see me give away most of his inheritance. But when I got back to UK, I told my daughter, she did not have quite the same enthusiasm.
Well, I can understand that, but let's talk about the Wells Sports Foundation. I've known a lot of entrepreneurs, but I haven't known of anybody who ever came up with this concept.
Well, with that, looking at it, I called it the Wells Sports Foundation. It was 2008, and there actually were three strands to it. The first one was basically, again, motivated by the Olympics. I thought what I'd do is I'd sponsor 18 what I thought potential medalists for 2012. They would all receive bespoke funding, which make a hopefully unique difference to their performance. And that went well. Out of the 18 of them, in fact, 11 of them got in the first 6 in the Olympics, which is amazing, getting the first 6 in the Olympics. And then what they gave me back in return, they actually gave me visits into schools, and they gave me 6 half days. They taught to 35,000 kids over 3 or 4 years, and really brought the value of sport into kids. So that was the major part of it. And then the last part of it was that I had funding of, okay, no, I've got this one wrong, haven't I? Okay, and finally on the Olympics, in fact, probably the best one on the Olympics was the world's top-around female athlete, Jessica Ennis, who won the heptathlon gold, and I've been with her since 2008, and what she'd found is she'd missed the 2008 Olympics. Most of her funding had gone away, and then I stepped in and helped her with a javelin coach, which was a week event, helped her with physio because she had quite a lot of injuries, and she went on to win the gold in 2012.
Did she share that gold with you? You have a...
Well, I've held it. That was it. I couldn't take it away.
Well, you were talking about those kids. Let's go back to that just for a second. 6 half days. Are they still doing it?
No, this really came to a halt after. It basically really was an Olympic initiative, and I've got another big initiative now. But this was the Olympic initiative 2012, and then they went to 35,000 kids, which is a lot of kids. And then the other one is the Box of Kids program, which I created, which enables thousands of seriously ill, terminally ill children to attend corporate boxes. But I'll come back to that later, because I just want to talk a bit more about the Olympics, the athletes and the schools. And fortunately, we're very, very lucky today to have with George and I here in Santa Fe is Holly Bleasdale. And Holly was in the Olympic Games, and there's the picture in the 2012 Olympics, and she was in the pole vault.
I'll say what. Let me ask. Look, here's Holly. That was you must have been about 35 feet there or something like that. No. Holly is the pole vault champion, and she holds the record in UK. And she's over here with Barrie, and well, she's over here in Phoenix, and Barrie came by after making some speeches, and so we had Holly come over with us. What was this all about, Holly?
Well, I am very lucky to have Barrie's support. I mean, since he's been helping me out, he's enabled me to buy some really much longer poles, which hopefully in the future will make me jump a lot higher, which is great. And just having his support and helping me, and just having a friend to chat to when times get tough and stuff with the training and the competitions is really great. And I mean, another big thing is I've got so much confidence from Barrie and from him allowing me to go into schools and teach these little kids. And I was really shy as a kid, and going in and teaching them a little bit about pole vault has really brought on my confidence, and I'm really grateful for that, and I'm sure I will be in the future when I go into a different career. But it's really great to have Barrie's support, and I'm glad I can be here along with him.
One of the things that you taught me here in the last few days is that pole vaulters have a longer lasting than swimmers, I guess. Or I mean, you said a lot of them are, you're in your early 20s, but some of these, they go up higher, huh?
Yeah, I'm only 22, and some of the top girls in the world, I mean, the world record holder at the minute is 32, and then I'd say in the top 10, apart from me, who's 22, they're all between 27 and 32, so it's definitely an event where, because it's so technical, the longer you do it, the better you get, and the more experience you get, so it's definitely, I'm very hopeful for my future.
And what she's not saying is that that athletics in the UK is a professional sport. Not so much here, I don't think, but in the UK it is, and they go in and they earn money. They're like golfers. Think of them as professional golfers. Holly is sponsored by Nike and by Subway. She's got a lot of things. You're going to see her on a Subway ad or somewhere along the way, probably. But and that helps them financially a lot. But with Barrie's help and their help, it's an amazing thing. Barrie, I need to know, how do you pick the people?
Well, first of all, I mean, it's great. Actually, it's great being in this room with you, George and Holly, because I've just worked out quickly. Our average ages are 55 years old. And that's obviously pulled down by Holly. I know you're, George, 97. You've pulled the thing up, but still, it's great being part of this elite group.
Thank you.
Anyway, off into how do I pick these? How do I pick them? Well, one is that I want to be passionate about the sport. I mean, with all respect, I don't want to sponsor taekwondo or long-distance walking or synchronized swimming when I'm under the water most of the time. I actually want it to be something I'm really passionate about, which I'm about track and field. The athletes I pick must have global potential. So when I met Holly, I wasn't interested in talking to Holly about will you get to the Olympics. It wasn't about Holly getting to the Olympics, about Holly getting to the Olympics and eventually getting to the Olympics and getting up on the podium. So, and Holly is somebody who I think has got the potential to go all the way to break the world record. I mean, she's now number 4 on the all-time list at only 22, a very technical event. So I believe that she will one day be up on the top Olympic podium, and she's got a couple more Olympics ahead of her. And then this one about being a role model, going to the schools, and what Holly would do in the schools. What do you want to tell them, Holly? It's great when you go in with those little poles.
I'd go into the schools, and because the little young kids don't have the facilities and the coaches to do it during school or college, they have to go to a special facility. I'd take in these small mini poles and show them and let them hold them and try and get them to run with it, and they've never ever seen anything like it. So it's really good to open their eyes to it, and hopefully in the future they'll take it up and there'll be more pole vaulters in the UK.
Another one is the cast. My cast must make a difference to their performance. I mean, that has to be one. I'm not giving the money away. I'm actually saying it does make a difference. In the case of Holly, as she mentioned before, she needed longer poles to get even higher, and she's going to need even longer poles in the future. So, again, I'm here to support Holly whichever way she needs it. And then the athlete must approach the athletic career like a business. I don't want somebody who, on Saturday night, is spending all their time in the nightclubs. If they're in America every weekend, they're flying off to Las Vegas and rushing around the gambling. That's not what I'm after. I'm after somebody who's saying, well, okay, my career is going to last till maybe I'm 30 years old, but in which case I'm going to approach it absolutely like a business. Also, I want to be on their journey. I don't just want to give the check away and walk away. I actually want to be with them. I want to understand if they get injured. I want to understand what the injury is and how fast can they come back from an injury. Also, I like to understand the technicalities of the event and really, really be on the journey, really, really. And this really makes this philanthropy so worthwhile. And then the last one is that I must really like them. That's obviously a critical one. So I'm not going to write a check and give it away. At the start, when I met them, I think I probably interviewed about 30 athletes and picked about 18. But it was picking ones out where I felt there was some chemistry and that would work well.
I'm kind of interested in, we talked about this, and I asked you to sell it. It sounds like you're doing everything in the athletic success or that you did in the business, and we start talking about the similarities. Just mention a few of those, will you?
Well, yes, this was interesting. When I kind of sat down and really thought about it, the people which make people like Holly successful at a mega global level and as success in business are so similar. I mean, the first category is obviously hard work, determination, and this single-minded focus. These are key things which you need in business. And understanding marginal gains. It could be anything. It could be something minor, like them taking their own pillow with them. So when they're away in a different hotel, they've actually got a pillow which actually fits in with what they do. In one case in the UK, one of the guys actually takes his mattress with him as well. So he's always kind of sleeping in the same bed. Just a tiny, tiny little thing, but really to make all those marginal gains. And then goals. I mean, just like business, we think of 1-year plan, 3-year plans, 5-year plan. Well, the case of Holly's thinking of 2016 up on the podium. What do I do to get them the way? I've got 2015 World Indoors. I've got other ones in 2015, etc. Really, really planning that, a short-term strategy, a long-term strategy. And again, a fierce competitor, often won by the smallest margin. I mean, in Holly's case, in the case of the pole vault, if she jumped the same height as somebody else, if they both jumped 4 meters 95, then it would be who'd taken the least number of jumps to get across the 495. So, and it's really working out. So when Holly's sitting there watching other competitors in the pole vault, she's then looking, how many jumps have they taken? How many jumps do I need to take? Because I want to achieve success by taking less jumps than those. So it becomes very, very technical. And a great one, Thrive Under Pressure. I mean, just a fantastic Holly one is that Holly was in the European Indoor Championship, and she tied with the Polish champion. They both done the same height, both done the same number, And then the umpire came across to see them both and said, if you both agree, you can share the gold medal. And unbelievably, Holly said, I don't want to share the gold medal. I want to carry on this competition. You know, put the bar down again and let's carry on. And I thought, oh my God, you know, you've got a chance here of a medal. You've got a chance for sharing it. But Holly didn't want to share it. She actually thrived under the pressure. The Polish girl faded away, and Holly went on to win the European Championship, wow, which is great. And then last one really, I suppose, is teamwork. Quality advisors, make sure that she has access to good physios, dietitians, all those things that again make up, which is just the same as business. Have you got a good accountant, good legal people, sales people, finance people, critical for businesses? Have you got all those? And the last thing is, obviously, have fun.
Well, you know, let me say one quick thing here as we hit the end of this. Holly's, here in New Mexico, they had the high school championship, and the gal set a record in pole vaulting, which was 13 feet, 3 inches or something like that. Holly jumps 16 feet. That just wants you to realize how far that is. Look up 16 feet sometime and figure what that is. I mean, this is pretty tough competition. Barrie, tell us a little bit about this box for kids. Now, Barrie is going to be bringing the Wells Sports Foundation in the United States. I'm going to help him if I can. And you might want to do the same thing because it's just well, tell us about the kids.
Well, the kids program really started. I had a box at Liverpool Football Club, which is the team which I support. And what I did think is if I gave the box over completely to seriously terminally ill disabled children, every single match, and they all could bring one loved one along, it would give them the VIP day that those kids would normally have to stand. So it's the corporate parking, it's the 3, 4, 5 course meal, even though the kids often don't eat the meal, and just want hamburger and chips, all of that. And then major players would then come into the box after the game and sign things to kids. So I launched it at Liverpool Football Club 2010, and it was incredibly successful. At the start I wondered, could I cope emotionally with it? Because all these kids are really ill. Hey, I'd never even know the kids were ill. When I got the box, the kids were just so happy, it was pretty hard to understand who was ill and who wasn't. Anyway, it was so successful, I then went out to visit other clubs around the country. I visited contacts. I got major banks like HSBC, Barclays, Allianz, the big German insurance group. And I said, can I have your boxes for one game a season? And most of them actually gave them up. Clubs gave them up. This then got massive coverage at the in the Times newspaper. It got a full page with all sorts of case studies on it. And then it just absolutely exploded. On the back of that, it just absolutely exploded. I then had all sorts of banks offering me arenas. So we could go and see Rihanna, Beyonce in arenas, just giving up the boxes because they didn't need those boxes. I mean, they had the Rihanna, the Beyonce. Often the corporate clients didn't want to go and visit them. They didn't want to justify it. It wasn't what they were interested in on the back of that. So major arenas. And then the final thing is that then I was approached by Allianz, who said, we want to take this into Austria, Switzerland, Germany, France, Spain, Italy, and then the world's largest sports marketing agency, which is the US one, came to me and said, this would be incredible in the United States in the 4 major sports, and that's what we're talking about at the moment. And finally, just some pictures of them in the box. I mean, that in the box there with me. At the top, there's Katherine Johnson-Thompson, who again is probably in the top 3 or 4 athletes in the world today. She's only 21. Underneath that, with me in the box, is Beth Tweddle, who is the Olympic medalist in the gymnastics. And then finally is a lady with a boy who came in the box, and sadly the boy, in fact, died about 2 months after he came into the box, but the mother was emotional about this, but she thought it was the best day of his life in the last year or so of his life, that she now carries on hosting boxes. And then just more pictures there. Those 4 little girls, that was Disney on Ice. So we've moved out of sport. The sport is the main thing, but we've now got boxes all over the place.
Well, Barrie, I want to thank you and Holly. This is a wonderful situation. I hope we can motivate a lot of people, and I think this is certainly going to be something that I can help you with. I hope I can, and our staff at Agencies Online, and we really want to. So again, if anybody would like to know more about the Wells Foundation, there's the information. Barrie's is barrie.wells@wellsportsfoundation.org, but you can also go into and write them there, and they'll be more than happy. He's got a staff, and they're working full time, and they're going at it. So this is a heck of a story, from entrepreneur to all things professional and helping out other people, charities, and that's a great thing to have. And Barrie, I look forward to working with you, and Holly, best of luck. Go 18 feet, will you? That's all I want you to do. And I'll see the rest of you next Monday morning.